Hi, and welcome back to Ignite Success, where we sit down, we talk to business leaders, business owners, business professionals, and find out what they're up to, and also hear their success stories to motivate and inspire you. I'm Sherrie Clark. I am your host, and today we have Crystal Anlage of the Jacksonville Survivors Foundation and Thom Stimpel of the Proactive Business Improvements. Crystal, hi, welcome. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
You know, you and I have a little history. We've known each other for a little bit. So I was there when you were forming your Jacksonville Survivors Foundation.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, let us know, like, what started you to do that?
901 days ago, on October 17th of 2020, my husband and I's only son was murdered by gun homicide in the Arlington area of Jacksonville. To this day, it still remains unsolved. So that's where my justice work began. And I have found that throughout this journey of almost 3 years, that there are so many families in Jacksonville who have been affected incredibly by homicide. And it doesn't just affect moms and dads, it affects brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, and for future generations. What I aim to do is to teach survivors how to find joy again, how to learn to smile again and not feel guilty by engaging them in peer support groups with fun activities that we can get out together and do in the community, and also while promoting safety in our community.
Yeah. I mean, this has been a mission for you. I've noticed it. Like, you're like blinders on and you're doing it. You're going to, and you had that experience. So you're walking that walk as you're trying to help other people walk that walk too.
I want to raise up other survivors so that they don't have to be afraid. They don't have to hide in their houses. I became a certified victims advocate in December through the Florida Office of Attorney General, and I'm now over at Project Cold Case as well, helping out with unsolved homicides.
Wow. Well, taking something bad, now you're helping others.
You have to use your pain for purpose or else it'll consume you.
Yeah. And Thom, the owner of the Proactive Business Improvements, and
right.
You work with entrepreneurs, novice, new, aspiring. Something that's after my heart too is the entrepreneurship. So tell us a little bit about your business.
Well, I started the business in 2002, initially to work with large businesses, but once I dug into it a little bit more and discovered the difficulty surrounding small businesses in the U.S., it completely changed my perspective. So in 2006, I began my mission to defeat the epidemic of small business failures in the U.S. Most people don't understand what's really behind all that, but just a couple of quick pieces of data. We all know that the U.S. economy is driven by small business, but what does that really mean? Well, in a typical year, almost 80% of the GDP is generated by companies with 5 or fewer employees. That was amazing to me. I had to go research that myself because I didn't believe it at first. But the problem lies in the new businesses that are begun every year. Approximately 54% will fail within 2 years, and 97% fail within 5. And those numbers have stood for years and years and years and years.
Goodness.
And the reason is that people just aren't prepared properly. They don't realize what's involved. And honestly, some people just shouldn't be entrepreneurs.
Thom, what do you think or consider to be the biggest challenge for those wanting to go into entrepreneurship?
Well, the failure points are many. There's about 5 or 6 that are real common among most of the failures. And the thing that's really kind of surprising about that is that, like the U.S. Small Business Administration, U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and lots of business advisors know exactly what those are and how to fix them. But people who are starting businesses typically don't want help. They don't think they need it. They don't realize how difficult things can be. So in response to that, one of the things I did when the pandemic first hit was I took a couple of months off and wrote this book. And this is it's called The Entrepreneurial Mindset. And it's really the combination of 20 years worth of research and successes working with small businesses to, first of all, teach them whether or not they should be an entrepreneur, because many of them should not. It's a real bad move for some of them. Secondarily, then, for those who elect to move forward in this self-paced, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, they can determine on their own whether or not they should move forward. Then the whole methodology is laid out that we've developed that tells them all the research, the planning, and the testing of their ideas and so on and so forth that they must do before they actually, hang the shingle and get started.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Wow. That looks like a really good book. A really necessary tool if you're going to start a business, whether it's
I believe so.
a for-profit or non-profit, right?
Yeah. And when
Yeah.
you're going to start, or even if you're just somewhat new in business, less than 3 to 5 years in business, there's still a tremendous amount of stuff that you can learn to improve on
Absolutely.
your operations.
Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
great. Well, thank you both for being here. I
Certainly.
appreciate you being here. If you want to know more about Thom Stimpel or Crystal Anlage, go to iwantabuzz.com. And that's it for this segment, and we'll catch you in the next one.